I want to show you how to identify tulip poplar so you can use the tulip poplar bark to make tinder. Why does that matter? Well, in Western North Carolina, tulip poplar is everywhere, easy to identify and easy to process. There are medicinal purposes to the tulip poplar. We're not going over that in this video. We're going over real quick tips on how to identify tulip poplar and how to break down the bark in the right state of decomposition to make a good tinder. First, I want you to see if you can notice behind me what stands out to you about this tree right here. I'm hoping you're seeing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, somewhere around here, kind of 7, 6 or 7 marks. These are old branches. Tulip poplar branches just break real easy. It's like unpredictable. Maybe you saw the video I did a few years ago with my old employee. He was on the ground talking about how tulip poplar branches fail real easy, while I'm 30 feet up in the tree, stepping on a tulip poplar branch to show how unreliable they are. I didn't mean to break it, but it was a big branch. I put a little pressure, it broke. I'm up there saying they break real easy. Oh crap. He's there saying they break real easy. Oh crap. It was just super serendipitous timing. That matters because easy way to identify tulip poplar is all these old scars where branches have fallen, and they run all the way up the tree. Let's see if we can get a decent little look at it for you. Yep, they're going to keep going and keep going. You can see them all. That's 1. 2, tulip poplar grows pretty close to straight up. Here, you see how straight this one is? Tulip poplar. Right next to it, pretty straight. This one right here, pretty straight. These are all tulip poplars. This is a tulip poplar as well. Next to it, you can see these trees aren't growing very straight. They are not tulip poplar. This, not tulip poplar. This one has a little bend to it, but that's tulip poplar. That's tulip poplar. That's tulip poplar. They're all over the place. Over here, tulip poplar. Now, not that it matters, but tulip poplar is not a true poplar. Out here in Western North Carolina, we have balsam poplar, true poplar, a real poplar. This is not an actual poplar. It's hard to say poplar a bunch of times back to back. Poplar, 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 pop. Yeah, not even gonna try. So now you know, let me add a little bit more to this. All right, the texture, to me, it's semi like a little bit like expanded metal. Or if you were to get locust and like smooth the bark down, make it less protrusive or make it protrude less. To me, that's what sticks out in my brain. And for you, you may look at it and be like, well, you are absolutely out of your mind or something like that to you. Doesn't mean it's not that way to me. That's how my brain retains the information. If you've ever done man tracking, this will kind of hit a note with you. And if you haven't, this will help you. When you're tracking, especially with the team, each individual needs to draw their own tracks. So if you're tracking a bad guy, whatever, and he's wearing shoes or boots, and to me, the boot print looks kind of like checkers. To you, it may look like a bunch of X's or boxes. Someone else, it may look like their childhood wallpaper, whatever it is. You choose what stands out in your mind. You don't have to give it to someone else because it's not for them. It's for me, okay? So directly in front of me, got a tulip poplar here, right behind it, behind this evergreen, more tulip poplar, and one right there. So there's a good chance somewhere on the ground, yeah, well, there it is. There's going to be a tulip poplar branch. And an easy way to identify it, we'll get closer here in a second, is the bark. Most of you already know this, but if you don't, walking down sideways, that way if you slip, you're not falling directly on your tailbone. Tailbone is either the bone or one of the bones that has the least amount of blood flow to it. So falling on it is bad news because it takes so long to recover because it has so little blood flow. So don't fall on your tailbone. There's your bonus tip for the day. Right here, you've got this big tulip poplar. Directly behind me, tulip poplar, and another one. So odds are there's going to be a branch down here somewhere. And look right behind me. This is the tulip poplar branch. I can already tell because you can see the white. It's got kind of a light, a dark white, if that's even a thing. Like a gentle white. Pearl-ish, little dash of yellow. But the biggest thing is I can see the bark and the color. You can see when the bark's not on here, it's very smooth. Very, very smooth. It's a nice wood to work with. Pretty good for friction fire as well. But as you look down, you can see it's not so much the bark, it's the way the bark is peeling. You can see just here, it's the bark's running up and down, all right? Versus, let's say birch. Birch bark runs side to side. And a lot of tree barks do run up and down, but they don't quite look like this. And also you can see little splotches on here. That's a good giveaway. But another big indicator is the way this is peeling. And when I peel on it, see how it just wants to peel and peel? And that took a tiny bit of effort. This is the condition we want it. Sometimes you'll get some that as soon as you pull on it, it just breaks where the pressure is. So if I'm pulling here, it would just snap off right here. But this has some memory to it, which means it's in pretty good shape. So let's show you how to make tinder out of this. Okay, here we go. All right, so we have the cambium layer inside. Note the color, very similar to the color of the actual branch. And then the outer layer. We don't care for this. Now, this isn't a big deal if you get it in your tinder bundle, right? It's just not what we want. And focus on this, not my face. Okay, so here's what it looks like here and here. If you get close enough, you can see. I'm gonna break it. See how it breaks into fibers? I'm just gonna compress this. And you'll see it's running vertical cracks. It's another indicator. And that's also why we like this so much. So here's what we do. Do not do this. I had a men's class 2 weeks ago. It was epic. You'll be seeing videos on that here soon. And if you're in Western North Carolina, check out the classes we offer. We got men's classes and women's classes every single month, survival based. And the men, you get the challenge phase. It's a challenge phase where you and your team of other men race to win the race. You implement a little bit of teamwork, some obstacles, and wilderness skills that you learned in class. Really good combination. So here's what you don't want to do. You don't want to come here and start peeling away. This is just tedious. It's going to take forever. You're going to get splinters under your fingernails. So don't do that. Here's what you do. You're going to bend this. And what you'll see happens is you have a break here. And when you have that break, you can just flick with your hand and that outer layer comes right off. From here. Right, I got this one little bit left, but you're seeing how quick it is to process. That's what we want to do, and that's why we love this tulip poplar bark. So don't come here and start finger picking. You just do this. Bend, flick, bend, flick. And there's a little hidden motion here. While I'm peeling here, I'm also pushing up. So I'm going to try to do it real slow. That's the best slow motion I could do. So I'm going to keep going. I'm going to show you more in real time. I want to wing you over on this because it's a great resource. I mean, you get decent at it, and your tulip poplar bark is in the right condition. This is great. Now, if it's not dead enough, it doesn't work very well. If it's too dead, everything just falls apart. And it also makes it's easy to make cordage out of this. It's not super strong, but it's easy to make, and it works pretty well. Now, sometimes when you're peeling this, you'll peel off the whole piece. We're just going to pause with this one. This is the piece that fell off. I got a little bit of outer bark left. Just going to get rid of this. And it's good practice to go ahead and put this in your pocket. Why do I care if this is in my pocket? Today, it's 60 degrees. It's been sunny all day. Haven't had rain in a few weeks. So do I need to dry this? No. But if you do things, I've learned through military training and life experience and wilderness training that we default when we're under stress. If we've done something enough times, our brain just naturally does it for us. Like, we don't have to think. You know, a weird metaphor, something we've all ran before. Do you think, picture a 5-year-old that's never really ran. Then you scare the crap out of him or her and they start running away. It's, I've got a niece. I'm thinking of her. Clumsy, legs flopping, just goofy, right? Not very familiar. Now you get a grown adult, someone that's ran countless miles in their life. You scare them, they run away. Fantastic form. It's just intuitive. The more you do it, the more intuitive it is. I say all that to say, even though this is bone dry, it's a good practice to go ahead and put it in your pocket. Because when it is damp, the heat from your body and the wicking process of your clothes creates a wicking and heating process, dries out your tinder a little bit. It's not magical, but it does decrease the moisture some. So it's worth doing. So while I'm talking, I'm just doing this stuff. Okay. We've got enough daylight left. I think we can pull this off. Okay. So here's what we're left with. Fibers. We want the fibers. So what we're left with is this fibrous material. Okay. And the reason we don't want the outer bark doesn't burn very well, doesn't take a spark well, but this inner bark does, but not yet. So next what we do, we can start peeling this like so and take 5 years to do this whole thing. Or what we can do just get aggressive. What I like to do is hold it like so, mash it, get some more, mash it, mash it, mash it. Once it's all mashed, before you critique, this works fine. Is this the proper method? There's like an art to it. Sometimes you got to be like very meticulous. With this, you don't. So I got this ball of tinder. Let me add the rest of it. I'm not even going to do that mashing process. I'm just going to bundle it all up together, roll it. I'm going to roll it this way, creating this shape. Then I'll turn it and do the same thing. Every time I'm reshaping it to the same shape, but when I mash it, next time I'll mash it, roll it, and it'll be shaped this way, and then it'll be this way. Hope that makes sense. Just gonna mash, turn, mash, circles, grab it. Got some bows. Illegal. Can't do that in UFC. Drop 6, can't do it unless you're in the street. Done it before. Works really well. Okay. So here's what I have. I'm just gonna pinch both sides, push, and rough it up. You can hear that sound. It's a good sound. Like rubbing. You can hear some stuff breaking up. That's what we're going for. We want just a big bundle of fiber. Okay. Now, if I were in a real setting, I would make something significantly larger than this. But here's the end result. Okay. And ideally, I should be able to see light through this. Now, I can see the light from the camera through this. You can't see me because that's not how light works. But this is good. You want it fluffy so you can get oxygen. Let's see how quickly this lights up. It's like a beat up bird's nest. Almost. And there we go. And that is how effective tulip poplar bark is for tinder. Do us all a favor. Stay alive as long as you can. We may need each other one day. And don't forget to check out the website for men and women's classes coming up in April.